Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Hodgepodge with Angela. Depending on where you're at, you may be watching or you may be listening to. I do want to say that if you're watching over on YouTube, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button. You never know what I'm going to post on this channel because it is Hodgepodge. You never know what's going to be here. And if you're listening to it on one of the podcast platforms, please make sure that you follow. I do have a goal that I'm trying to reach for followers. So I'm going to say that if I don't reach that goal, I'm probably going to give up the podcast, but I haven't 100% decided yet. But anyway, welcome. Yes, my face is extremely red. I sat out in the sun for a little bit today just to kind of get some color, and it worked. If you followed me and you've watched any of my makeup videos, you know that I have a tendency to have a lot of redness in my skin anyway, and it doesn't really help being in the sun, but it will fade pretty soon. So anyway, hope you guys are doing well wherever you may be in the world watching this. So today I want to talk about my budget. If you've been with me for a while, or at least a couple of months, you know that I have started a budget. And after listening to Rachel Cruz and doing all that, it was like, okay, I need to start budgeting, because once I started looking at my Amazon and just my bank account in general, it's like, where's my money going? I'm one of those people that, I think about that and just go throw it in the Amazon cart, and then I, have several $100s of stuff that I've ordered and not really paid it any attention. So by now having a budget, I'm very well aware of where my money's going. So needless to say, the budget is going very well. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that I'm pretty much budgeting everything. I'm budgeting my haircuts. I'm budgeting the dog food, the dog medicine, the dog grooming, groceries, gas, everything. And there have been a couple of times that I have, gone over. I'm going to bring this down a little bit. That I have gone over the budget, and I did not like it at all. I didn't like it. I didn't like when I had to go and buy something that wasn't on the budget. And I think it's because now I'm more aware of what I'm spending my monies on, that I don't want to spend the money. Let me take a sip. We needed to buy something or do something the other day, and I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not going. I'm not doing it because I'm not paying for it. It's not in my budget. Or it was that, or maybe I wanted a certain glass or bottle of wine or something, and I'm like, nope, not getting it. It's not in the budget. And I really have become more aware of where I'm spending my money, just because I am budgeting. And I actually encourage it. And what I did is, I'll tell you how I started. You guys know, if you're watching this, I'll show you, but if you're listening, you're going to have to run over to the YouTube channel to see this. But I bought this planner back at the end of 2022. And in this planner, in the back of each month is this really cool budget. And I thought, I'm going to try that because I've never done it before. So I got it, and I, started writing down everything that I was spending my money on and putting it in a spot. So then I started watching some videos from Rachel Cruz, and where she was talking about budgeting to zero. Like, you should have a category for all of your monies. So I went through, and I was actually already signed up to Truebill, which is now Rocket Money. And you guys, if you wanting to budget or do anything like that, I highly recommend them. It is a really cool app. And this is not a sponsored video, but you can go to Rocket Money, or you can go to your Apple Store or your Google Play Store and download the app. It is called Rocket Money. And you do have to link it with your accounts. It's not like you go and, you just plug it in. You link it with your bank accounts, or your bank accounts, and it will show up every time a dollar is spent. It'll also show you when you get paid, or if somebody, Zells you money or something, it's going to show you in the app. And what's really cool is you can categorize it. So, like it'll come through and it'll say, oh, well, this, like if I Venmo somebody something and it comes out of my account, it may not have a category for that. So I can go in and assign my own category. I can create my own categories, and I love it because it makes me so aware of where I'm spending my money. And then at the end of the year, you can just run like a report, or, run run a report and show you where you spent your money and how much you spent on certain categories. It does cost to do it, to use their service, but you can pretty much set your cost. When I started doing it, I was just, paying them a few dollars a month for it, and then I kind of felt bad and I upped up the amount. But you can pretty much set. I guess it depends on how many transactions you make. If you want to pay them a lot of monies to let you use their app, because like I said, it's free unless you want to pay them. And I guess you could probably say you don't want to pay them anything, but I felt I was using it. I was benefiting a lot from it because it is really a neat app. Has changed a little bit since Rocket Money bought it. But I think it's been for the best. So if you're wanting to budget or anything like that, I highly recommend using a budgeting app, or something. I know Dave Ramsey has one. I don't know what it's called. It was a fee to use it, and I didn't want to pay that. So I went with Rocket Money. And like I said, you can pay them pretty much whatever you feel the app is worth to you. So anyway, I started doing that and started seeing how, that's what kind of when I started, was using that. And it's really cool because, I had all these TV services, and you guys saw that. I had Netflix, I had Hulu, I had Peacock, I had Paramount, I had Philo, I had Sling, I've had what's the other one? Hulu Live was the big one. And I was looking at how much monies I was paying each month for TV, and the whole purpose of me getting rid of cable years ago was so that my TV bill wouldn't be so crazy. But there I was doing it in streaming services. So you can see it, you can go through the app, and you can cancel services through the app, which I thought was really cool. They tell me that they can adjust or help me lower my cell phone bill. I haven't done that yet because my cell phone bill is really high because I have 2 cell phones on my plan, and I have an iPad. They all have unlimited data and all that. So I haven't changed my cell phone bill, but I may look into it to kind of get an idea of how much, data that we're using and that kind of thing. I work from home, so I'm always on Wi-Fi, but Hubby B does not. He's out in the field, and he may need it. He may need more data, so we just haven't changed it yet. But anyway, so once I started budgeting and seeing how much money I was spending, it was truly, truly eye-opening. And one of the things that kind of stressed me out is I was taking money and putting it into savings, and I was forgetting about bills. I was forgetting about like the trash bill that comes every 3 months. Or, I was forgetting about the dog food, the medicine food that they have to have. Or their rough greens that I feed them, every day. And I was kind of forgetting about some of that. And then when it was time for those to come, they were automatically drafted out of my account. And I'm like, wait a minute. I don't have the money, because I moved the monies I had left over into another account because I was trying to save money, and I didn't budget for those. So I went through Rocket Money, and it took me a couple of weeks to do this because I wanted to make sure everything had come through, everything that I was spending money on was coming through there, and I was able to track it. So what I did is I went through Rocket Money, and I wrote down every single and I'm a pen to paper person, so I wanted to make sure that I had everything written down. Every transaction was accounted for, and I maybe went back a month. And I didn't want to go forward. I wanted to go back because I was ready to start. And if you guys, I'm the kind of person, when I set my mind to do something, I'm ready to do it. So I went back a month and wrote down everything. And then I started looking at because I know about what my haircut's going to cost. And I know what the medicine food's going to cost. And I know what the groomers is going to cost. And so I know what my lashes are going to cost. Yes, I wear false eyelashes and I love them. I know what those are going to cost. I know, there's several things. I know how much I'm going to give to church every, time I get paid. So there's a lot of things that I already know that I was able to budget in the exact amount. The only thing I didn't know is my Amazon and stuff like that. So I even budgeted for my Amazon trips, my little extra fun money, as I call it, for me to be able to spend at Amazon. So I even budgeted for that. And what has really, really helped is if I've already spent my money through Amazon and that's been budgeted, I can't spend any more. So then I have to decide, if I truly want it. You guys will remember, let me show you here in my little Pocket Plus planner from Chic Sparrow that I love so much. It smells so good. Oh, I just love it. I wrote down these questions. So if you're watching this, you can see the questions. If you're listening, you got to go to YouTube. So you can see the questions that I ask myself now. And I do that with everything that's over $20. So if I'm buying something over $20, I ask myself, do I really need it? Where am I going to put it? Do I really, do I have anything else that'll work? And if I can answer the correct way, then I'll buy it. But not if it's not budgeted. And it has been truly eye-opening because, like I said, I've never done this before. At one point in my life, I didn't really have to worry about money. Now that I'm older and I want to save for retirement, and I would like to retire one day, I do pay more attention to how much money is being spent on things. I love t-shirts. Like this t-shirt I have on right here is from Mystic Pizza. I've seen the movie. My sister went up there, which she got this t-shirt for me. But I go places and I see all these fun t-shirts. And, I would be spending $8 to $20 on a t-shirt that really wasn't the best quality. And then I end up donating these t-shirts to Goodwill or wherever I may donate them. So I've made the decision that I'm not buying any t-shirts anymore unless they're super good quality or if it's something that I truly, truly want. Like I'll go to Walmart. Walmart has the best t-shirts, but they don't always wash and wear good. So I have found that there's a lot better quality. So if there's a t-shirt at Walmart that I really, really like, I may look online for the better quality one. But I have so many t-shirts that I have just given away because the quality is terrible. But those are the kind of things that I'm paying attention to now that I didn't pay attention to before I started budgeting. And I'm going to tell you, if this is something that you're thinking about doing, I do encourage you to watch a lot of videos. That's what I did. Take a lot of notes from those videos. And don't use there was one girl, I started watching a couple of her videos, and she only budgeted certain things. And I later found out that she was getting government funds. So she was only budgeting things that her government funds helped her pay for, like her housing and her groceries. She wasn't including her nails and her hair and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't want to take advice from her. So I started looking at people and started paying attention to what they were budgeting. And then I really like Rachel Cruz. I like her budgeting to zero. So if you're thinking about trying to budget, do it. Try it for a couple months. See if it works for you and see how much money that you're saving and how mindful you truly, truly are before you spend your money. And it's incredible. I'm telling you, it's incredible. We are still dining out once a week. My grocery bill has not changed. If you watched way back, that I was spending $100 a week on groceries, and that's what I'm keeping to. Now, we do eat a lot of what we call our storage cabinet stuff. Like we'll go, and we haven't done it in a long time, but we'll go and we'll buy like a lot of bulk stuff, like stuff that we like, canned goods and that kind of thing, and we want to rotate them. So that's stuff that we've already spent money on, and that's not included in the grocery budget, but because we do that as a separate budgeting category. But when I go to the grocery store, I went over once, and that was because it was a Super Bowl and I wanted to make a special dip for us. So I went over one time with the budget, and it just ate me up because I was like, oh God, I went over my budget. And Hubby B was like, well, it's the Super Bowl, you wanted that dip. And I'm like, did I really want it that much? And it turned out to be really good, and I'm glad that we had it, but it tore me up. Just threw my money on it. So anyway, if you're thinking about budgeting, I have dropped a couple of videos that I will link up here in the top if you're watching the video, like some of my new ones and how I'm doing things. And I do have a couple of different checking accounts that I use for each one of them. And that makes things a little bit easier too, because I know on payday that X amount of money is going to go into each one of those, and that's what I spend. I'm not dipping into and the only reason I did that is because I already had these accounts. Like I had one for my old YouTube account, and then I had another one for something else. Three accounts is what it comes out to be. So you don't have to do that. That just makes it easier for me because I had them. They're free checking So I just kept them for this reason. And what's going to be interesting is if I don't use all the monies at the end of the year, I want to see what I have left over. So anyway, thank you guys for watching the video. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Like I said, if you are not a subscriber or follower, please make sure that you follow. And until next time, bye y'all.